Good day everyone! Welcome to the second part of today's video lecture for Module 3 Remedial Instruction in Reading. I am given B. Lapid from BSE English 3A and I will be your reporter for today. I hope that you can learn something from me. Enjoy learning! Our video lecture for today is divided into 3 parts. And the coverage of our lesson will be number 1, correcting. But before we go to our main agenda for today, let me first share with you our learning objectives for this lesson. Let us now start with the first topic, the correcting knowledge on sound symbol correspondence. Sound symbol correspondence involves knowledge of the sounds represented by the letters of the alphabet and the letters. You may wonder, why is knowledge of sound symbol correspondence important? Knowledge of sound symbol correspondence. Let us now move on to the first subtopic of correcting knowledge on sound symbol correspondence, which is the vowel rule. As a teacher, you should know that in words containing a single vowel letter at the end of the word, the vowel. In words ending with vowel consonant silent E, the E is silent and the first vowel may be either long or short. Accent has less importance for a corrective reader than the vowel rules. This is true partially because. And now to our second subtopic, the syllabication principles. When two consonants stand between two vowels, the word is usually divided between the consonants. And now, for our second topic, we have the remediation through phonemic awareness. And in order to
Good day, everyone! My groupmates and I are going to discuss the remediation through phonemic awareness. In this short yet substantial video, you will be introduced about the critical phonemic awareness skills that every student should learn. But before doing so, allow me to give you a brief explanation of what phonemic awareness is. So phonemic awareness is a subset of phonological awareness in which listeners are able to hear, identify, and manipulate phonemes, the smallest mental units of sound that help to differentiate units of meaning. In addition, phonemic awareness is an understanding of phonemes and how they work together to create words. Some of these skills are the sound isolation, blending, and segmenting. Now, why is it important to learn phonemic awareness? First and foremost, phonemic awareness is important because it requires readers to notice how letters represent sounds. It primes readers for print. It gives readers a way to approach sounding out and reading the words. And lastly, it helps readers understand the alphabetic principle that the letters in words are systematically represented by sounds.
Phoneme isolation is a strategy that helps develop students' phonemic awareness, which is part of phonological awareness. Phoneme isolation involves having students identify specific phonemes in words, such as middle, first, and last sound. For example, so what is the first sound that you hear in the word make? Yes, very good. And how about the last sound of the word job? Yes, middle sound of the word bite. Yes, I. Perfect. So that is the other way that we practice and recognize sounds in different letters.
Sound isolation example B. In sound isolation, use consistent and brief wording. Example, the word mountain. The first sound in mountain is mountain. Another example, the word magic. The first sound in magic is magic. Sound isolation example C. In sound isolation, correct errors by telling the answer and asking the students the correct answer. Example, the word man. The first sound in man is What is the first sound again? Very good. Say it with me. Man.
Hi class, did you know that every letter of the alphabet has a sound? Great! Now, we are going to be practicing blending sounds. Are you ready? Very good! And blending class, we join the sound of the letters to form a word. Like for example, these three sounds. Let's blend this together to make another word. Sun. And blending instruction, we use a scaffold test difficulty, whereas in sound isolation, only focuses on the first letter sound. Have you noticed the difference, class? Okay, to further understand blending, I have here an example statement. Listen, the lion puppets like to talk in a broken way. When he says, he means mom. Seems like the lion puppets cannot express the word straight. Do you know what the lion puppets need to develop, class? Exactly, he needs to improve blending sounds. Okay, I have here another example with the same statement. Listen, the lion puppets like to talk in a broken way. When he says he means bad. Am I understood? Okay, do you want more example? Okay, another one. Let's blend this together. Cat. Okay, alright. Do you have any questions, clarifications regarding blending lesson? Okay, class, it's blending time. I will call you one by one, and once I call your name, you may stand up. But before we start, I will distribute first the materials that we are going to use with this activity. I have here a string. This string will help you to blend faster. This string corresponds with three different colors. The color blue, white, and pink. Okay, you know what, class? It is very easy to pronounce the sound of the individual letters, but usually it is very hard to connect the three sounds to form a word. But don't worry, kids, we can get over it. Only, we just have to master the sound of the letters and blend it all together. Okay, is everything's clear? So let's start. I have here some words which has continuous sound. Please pick one. I will say it first and repeat after. Use your string, class. Okay, I will call on Amethyst, followed by Alali. Next to Alali is Jean Marie, Giselle, Ken, Shine, Artusha, and lastly, Draymore. Okay, let's start. Net. G. Bag. Sit. Box. Bat. Perfect.
Blending example D. When students are first learning the task, use short words in teaching and practice example. Use pictures when possible. Here is my CBC word example. B. dove. Example C. When students are first learning the task, use materials that reduce memory load and to represent sounds. Example, use pictures to help them remember the words and to focus their attention. Use a 3-square strip or blocks to represent sounds in a word.
We are starting to learn lots of new sounds, but to make words, we need to blend or join the sounds together. For example, this. What can you see in the picture? Okay, a map. Very good. What is the spelling of the word map? M-A-N-P. So what is the sound of letter M? Next. Next. Okay. As what I said earlier, that you need to join the sounds together to form a word. So, map. Okay. So next example. P. Very good. What is the spelling of P? P-I-N. So what is the sound of letter P? Next. E. Next. So, is P.
Segmenting. In phoneme segmentation, it is the ability to break words into individual sounds. It's best to say the word out loud and then focus to the sounds. Example, the word sun. The sounds in sun are Again, the sounds in sun are Then we hear that there are 3 sounds units in the word sun. Another example, the sounds in mom. The sounds in mom are ma, ma. Again, the sounds in mom are ma, ma.
As you can see, I have here letter cards in front of you and also pictures. And this activity, you will place these pictures dapat sa yung mga letter cards that corresponds with the first sound of the first sound of the first letter of this picture. Okay, class, let's take a look of your answers if you got it right. So this picture is sun, and this picture is sit. So the first letter or the letter cards that corresponds to this 2 picture is S, because the first sound or the first letter of this 2 picture is S. The second picture is can and cup. The first letter of
today I was assigned to discuss to you the segmenting part C and D. So let's have first the C. So C is make the connection between sounds in words and sounds in letter. For example, after a student can segment the first sound, have them use the tiles to represent the sound. Let's say for sun, S, U for oo, and N for N. So that is sun. Okay? So moving on, let's have segmenting part D. So in segmenting part D, we use phonologic skills to teach more advanced reading skills such as blending letter sounds to read words. Example, give children a 3-square strip and letter tiles for B, E, T. B for B, B. E for E, and T for T. Okay, so have them do familiar tasks and blending to teach stretch blending with letters. Have a good day.
A typical child entering elementary school with high phonemic awareness is almost certain to become a skilled and confident reader. However, a child with low phonemic awareness is most likely to struggle with phonics and reading. Thus, researchers converge in the conclusion that phonemic awareness is critical for learning to read in alphabetic languages and in any alphabetic system. As per Sir Invora Language says, teaching phonemic awareness accelerates reading and writing growth of the entire classroom.
And now, for our last topic, we have remedial vocabulary instruction. Vocabulary is initially acquired in 4 ways. First, incidentally, through reading and conversation. Second, for our first subtopic, we have the considerations in remedial vocabulary instruction. It says here that connect vocabulary instruction to the natural process of word learning. For our second subtopic, we have the concept-based approach to vocabulary building. The concept-based approach is based on the work of Freire, Frederick, and Clausewitz. The Freire model is a graphical organizer used for word analysis or vocabulary building. This 4-square model prompts the students to think about and describe the meaning of a word or concept by defining the term, describing its essential characteristics, providing examples of the idea, and offering non-examples of the idea. And we have here the Freire model. In using the Freire model, first, the teacher should select a word that, first, is an important concept to be learned, second, can connect to other related terms, and has an examples and non-examples of its application. This word will be the basis in order to fill these other elements. For the first element, we have the definition in your own words. In defining the word, the description should be student-friendly of the term. And for the second element, we have the facts or characteristics. In writing the characteristics, it is the features that help students to recognize, identify, or distinguish the term. For the third element, we have the examples. In writing the examples, you should write the synonyms of the word. That is, concrete applications, or relevant illustrations of the characteristics. And lastly, for the fourth element, we have the non-examples. In writing the non-examples, you should write the antonyms of the term or word that the teacher was given. That is, inappropriate applications or relevant illustrations that do not fit the characteristics. Let us now move on to the third subtopic, which is the subjective approach to vocabulary. SAV, the acronym for Subjective Approach to Vocabulary, builds on experiences and knowledge students have already acquired. Students use personal experiences or associations to build a strong memory and meaning of the new vocabulary word. A guided talk-through is led by the teacher to help students become better strategic readers and make connections between each word and their personal experience. Research has found that SAV was significantly more effective than conventional approaches to vocabulary. And here are some procedures if you want to implement the SAV. First, identify 2 to 4 words to be thought or pre-thought if SAV is used as a pre-reading activity. Second, the teacher tells the student the full meaning of a word much as it might be found in a dictionary. It is recorded in a word study journal as the objective or dictionary meaning. Third, the teacher asks the student, "What does this word remind you of?" Or, "What do you picture or think of when you heard this word?" Next, the teacher talks to the student through this personal search for the meaning by asking further clarifying questions and in group situations by pointing out those images suggested that seem most vivid. The teacher may add his or her own images. Next is silent reading follows next when SAV is used as a pre-reading vocabulary development. When it is being used for general vocabulary development, students are given 5 to 10 minutes to study and rehearse the new and previously recorded words. And lastly, the teacher let the students close the word study journal and asks him or her the meanings of the words studied that day and a few others from the previous days. This step can be tied to set exercises in conventional workbooks such as crossword puzzles, category games, and etc. And for the last subtopic, we have motor imaging. In implementing the motor imaging, first, since physical sensory or proprioceptive learning can be interiorized, they also can be self-stimulating, and as such, they are easier to rehearse and recall with the slightest mental reminder. Second, proprioceptive learning is so basic to human learning that it is common to all learners, fast and slow. Third, the act of identifying and acting out a word becomes a life experience in itself, with the word, a value that Frederick Doffelmeyer in Manzo and Manzo demonstrated when he successfully taught youngsters words via the experiential approach. And that's it for this video lecture. I hope that our lesson for today provided you with the necessary information that may help you in remedial reading. Thank you for watching and listening.